Hey everybody, this is Bob in Idaho for Paw Productions. Today I wanted to go over some food storage basics, how to get started. I know in all of our other videos that we show it's mostly pertaining to long-term food storage, but we never really hit on short-term food storage or how to get started. So basically I decided to talk about that a little bit. In front of me I have some examples of food from short-term all the way up to long-term, and of course you've seen our other videos on how to pack LTS foods in buckets of Mylar. Basically, food storage isn't that hard, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but a lot of people, for lack of better terms, get kind of scared with the amounts they need to have. So basically, to get started, just a little bit at a time. So that's what we're going to go over. Over here I'm going to go over what I have on the table here, and we'll talk about each one. These are what I consider short-term preps right here. Everything over here is all short-term. Basically, you've got your canned goods, some of your retort stuff. This could be, you know, the meats, the chickens, hams, whatever. This happens to be some soup. It's already in a little box, usually good for about 2 years. And then we have self-canned food. For those of us that are getting into that, it helps us preserve what we've either grown or harvested or picked or whatever. Also adds you know, various fruits and sweets and everything else to our diet. Then we have the prepackaged 3-day kits or packaged survival kind of 72-hour deals, and of course your MREs. And over here we have number 10 cans, from self-packed to freeze-dried to grains to dehydrated. These are mostly your long-term preps that would go along with your bucket and Mylar food. To start out, I recommend, as going through my experiences, is that canned goods are nice to store what you eat. It's a novel concept, but once you get to the levels to really go for a long-term event, basically, in my eyes, anything longer than 3 months is long-term. If it's gone that far, it's pretty far. Canned goods are good to start. Sometimes you can find them on sale. It's a way to just keep a well-balanced pantry, and they have a pretty decent shelf life. On average, you're looking at 1 to 3 years. Of course, there's some that can last longer, but if you do the store what you eat, when you're supposed to be rotating, which most people really don't, they tend to last longer. Excuse me. It's a good starting point. It's you know, it helps you kind of dip your feet in the water per se. The same thing with home canning your food. It's kind of a way to, you know, do something to store food that's not so survival related for a lot of those people out there that just can't fathom the fact that that's what they are. Preparedness individuals, whatever you want to call it. We're all survivalists deep down. We're wanting to survive some type of event. Economic zombies, losing your job next week or breaking your leg. This all comes into play. These I would recommend for people starting, like I said. These kits right here are basically, I would regulate them just to like inside your truck, your car, your pack, you know, quick and easy meals. I mean, it's not to say that you can't have them. The shelf lives aren't very long. You're looking at anywhere from 1 to 3 years depending on the temperature of where you're storing them. Again, that has a lot to play in with these store-bought canned goods as well. MREs even more so, since they're not packed and canned like the store-bought stuff. They're a little bit more susceptible to temperature issues and storage issues because they're not in a hard container. Rats and mice will go through these like it's, you know, nothing. Wet toilet paper. They can be had cheap. They're good for you know, camping. I'm going camping. I need to have some MREs for camping, and slowly and surely you build up for those that are afraid to get your other halves involved. Next we move on to some of the number 10 cans. These are freeze-dried, like I said earlier, dehydrated grains. These are beans. These are self-packed. I had a friend a while ago that had access to a canner running a preparedness business, and canned up some beans a while back. These will last forever, pretty much. I mean, Mountain House, if you look on some of their sites and stuff, you're looking at 20 to 30 years. Dehydrated, you're looking around the same. I mean, if you look at our long-term storage food results videos that was put on by Robert Henry from the Survival Report, you'll see that stuff from the early 2000s and 90s that was still good to eat, that was packed in these number 10 cans and stored in conditions that weren't on par with what most people think that their food storage should be in. So that tells you these are dependable foodstuff items to have for an event, whether it be your short-term event or your long-term. More than likely this will probably be a two-part video because we're already coming up on the 6-minute mark, so those of you all that don't like the two parts, oh well, get used to it. Get started with some of the little stuff here, guys. I mean, it doesn't take much. I mean, start out with the canned goods, like I put in our blog on the Pop Movies on Blogspot, is that you got to have a well-rounded short-term food supply to complement your long-term. I mean, there's no sense of having like 3 or 4 day power outage during an ice storm or a hurricane and having to go pop open one of your number 10 cans or a bucket full of beans and rice or whatever you have in your buckets of Mylar. Not to say you can't, but if you have a properly stocked pantry with some self-canned foods or with regular canned goods or even some of the retort MRE style meals, this is what will keep you going to supplement this. These two need to go hand in hand in my eyes. You need to have a good selection to be able to make your long-term last longer and your short-term to last longer. For those just starting out, start out with these items here and then move into these. If you're going to buy in bulk, and by bulk I don't mean only a case or two of number 10s and only 2 buckets of rice. That's not bulk, guys. That's short-term stuff. I mean, family of 4 and 2 buckets of rice, you're looking at not even even with your pantry, you know, you're going to eke out a month. Turn around, and if you're going to buy in bulk, number 10s and your bulk grains are the way to go. Your cans are useless to buy in bulk. I mean, the money put into them, you're figuring even at $1 to $1.50 a can these days, and even if you find them on sale for $10, you're still looking at, well, at least they weren't meowing this time, but they're deciding to chase each other. My attack cats. Back to what we were talking about. You know, the cost involved on these just to rotate them out, you know, eat what you store what you eat, where you're constantly rotating, you're going to spend 3 times the amount of money trying to upkeep a canned good supply of food, even for a short-term event. You know, 3 months or, you know, between 3 months or so worth of canned goods is a lot, let alone the weight and the space it uses versus 3 months worth of this or 3 months worth of LTS grains that are packed in 5 gallons of Mylars. Sorry if I've rambled back and forth with the little cat interruption and stuff. I kind of got sidetracked, but basically you want to start slow, but you want to do it wisely. You don't want to overload on your canned goods that are going to cost you twice as much, and the same thing with the MREs and stuff, than what it's going to cost to do this. Everybody wants to practice buy once, cry once. When it comes to gear and everything else, your food is no different. Buy good food, store it, maintain a properly stocked pantry, and you won't have any issues when it comes to your food storage program. You'll be covered for your short-term events, you'll be covered for your long-term events, and for your kit and your truck, you're covered for those few hours to few days that you're going to need it. Well, I'm Bob. Go ahead and post up any comments or questions you have. You know, well, my opinion is just one. There's millions out there, so keep the comments coming. Remember to go to survivalreport.net. There's a really good blog entry on how to start your food storage program with very little money involved, a little bit at a time, and also check their YouTube channel. Well, I'm Bob for Pop Productions. keep prepping, guys.